Hi, my name is Sally Barnard, an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer. Welcome to Call Me Zena, a true story into the spiritual realms. Join me as I sit and discuss the journey of self-discovery, and with the help of my spirit guides, it's time to trust your intuition. Sit with me and call in live, 888-994-4995, Studio A. And now onto the show.
I see. I have to say happy holidays. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. It's nearly time for holiday time and fun. Well, it is actually. We've had a great time in the studio today. Welcome back to my show. We had a wonderful cruise, Steve and I. We went to the islands and I'm more relaxed, so hopefully I don't fall asleep during my show. Okay. Welcome. Well, we're starting with, I have no idea what the topic is, and I think it's a surprise. I don't usually know any of the questions, but I'm here to answer them without me knowing what they're going to be. So, do I have any idea?
I think we were talking about, on today's midday show, there was a big to-do about what happens, how people's energies and frequencies and events and all these things go on, and other people absorb them, which I thought was a... Well, how do I describe this, Steve? I thought it was no, not even woo-woo.
An eye-opener?
Worse than that.
Oh, it was.
I thought it was just plain crazy. I thought people were just nuts to feel these things. And apparently this has a name.
Other than Dawn?
And Sally.
We had a whole lecture about how people feeling these frequencies and things, energies in a room, in a parking garage, which you can share your experience.
Well, Dana had a name for it. I don't remember what
Yes,
it was.
she had a name for it. Do you remember the
Start
name?
with a C.
Audio.
Yeah, what is that?
It's a clairsense. It's feeling it.
Isn't that clairvoyant?
That's not clairvoyant because that's knowing from
That's
your mind.
there's a difference. And I guess what we've always called it
Clairsentience.
an empath.
Feeling
People are
it,
more...
like you physically feel it. Clairsentience.
That is some word, man. And apparently, Sally, you and Dawn, I don't know, Steve, if you're that way as well.
No, he is, but he may not be aware of it a little bit.
Are you?
Sometimes.
Not really.
There's a lot more in me than I really know, and Sally will tell you that.
There's a lot more than you that you know?
Right.
That you don't know yet?
Right.
You got to
Well,
learn?
I point certain things out to him to clarify that a little bit, so he has no
Well, I
idea.
think that has a lot to do with today's show, because Dawn apparently now has a name for some of the
what I
things.
feel.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I'm so happy that she came in today, that I was in the studio to listen, because I learned quite a bit too. I mean, I always really refer it to as an empath, which is more known by people. They'll know what an empath is, which of course Dawn and I are, and I believe you are too, Freddie.
But this other word,
yes,
clairsentience.
is the opposite. Not
Well,
knowing, is that what it is?
It's
feeling.
It's a feeling
She had
of it.
another word for the empathic side of it. I don't remember what that was either.
I'm going to tell you what's in the encyclopedia today.
See, they say clair because you can be clairvoyant. There's a lot of clair audio.
Now, can you have multiple of these things? Can you feel and
Of course.
you can?
Because I believe a lot of them, in what I hear and what I actually kind of know a little bit about it, because I'm definitely an empath. Most people that are psychic can feel because they're feeling energy. So that carries on to the fact that you're obviously going to be able to feel here in our world. And if someone, say, is even in a bad mood, and they haven't even expressed it to you, but you're there and you have these feelings, you can actually feel in a bad mood yourself, which is really nothing to do with you. It's the other person that's transmitting their energy to you. It's a transmission of energy, and if you're sensitive to that, you're going to pick up on it. And a lot of people are, and they have no idea why they're feeling bad or even happy. Suddenly, you've seen people suddenly laugh for no reason. I'm sure everybody has seen that. They'll say, I don't know why I laughed. Well, they laughed because somebody else was finding something funny. This happens. This is real.
So, Sally, on a ship with 3,000 people, as we were with...
I wasn't a happy camper the first time around, no.
No, but did you feel any of this energy as we walked through the ship?
Yes, of course I did. I mean, I can't continually point it out to you, though, because I feel it. In fact, and that's a good intro to what actually happened to me on the cruise. We were in an area that was kind of, they were offshore, there weren't many people on the ship, and we were in a private sort of area, and I thought, great, because I do like to relax when it's quiet, because I feel that I'm able to not maybe pick up people's energies. However, and you know this, Steve, because I said that to you, I kind of can meditate and I see things. So I thought it was a good time with the ship had stopped. It was just the ocean I was looking at. So I laid back on the chair and I began to do my meditation, and I was seeing faces. And I actually said to you, I actually spoke during that. I said, I'm seeing a whole lot of people. I have no idea who they are. And suddenly a lady came, and you got up, I believe, and you weren't there when that happened. And this lady sat down, and she was where you are, Freddie, that far, not too far away from me. And she said, hi. Well, I really didn't want to talk because I thought it was my downtime. But she said to me, I have to tell you, it would have been my anniversary. My husband just died today from nowhere. And I had suddenly seen a lot of faces. Well, the faces were not for me. I didn't know these people. They were for the lady sitting next to me. And as soon as that happened, she came and sat down. How is that, you know? And I said, oh my gosh. But I didn't want to scare her. She didn't know who I was, but I knew what was happening. And I didn't actually say anything to her. But after that, there was no more conversation. She just laid back.
It was like a momentary...
It was, yes, because they were aware. The spirits that appeared to me were obviously part of her, maybe her husband, I don't know without actually talking to her, but it was definitely meant for her,
so
not me.
Compelled her to share that with you.
She just, yes, she just laid down. And first she sat up and she spoke to me and said that it was her anniversary and her husband had just passed away. And I had just seen 3 faces of men, actually.
I gotta tell you, we went to dinner last night with you guys, and Dawn and her husband also went. I went with Linda, and I sat down. I didn't think, and this is so ironic. So we were the first ones to get to the restaurant, and I said to Linda, "You got here too early. It was 5:36 when we got there, and you guys weren't going to show up till 6." So I said to her, "Now what are you going to do? Now I got to sit out here because I hate waiting outside sitting." And she says, "Oh no. They're going to sit us down." And I said, they're going to sit us down. Okay. So we go in. Lady says 6. Got Steve's name, the whole 9. I don't know if you know them or whatever. I figured maybe they knew you because they repeated your name like 4 times. And they took us and they gave us a choice of where to sit. Either left with the AC or to the right away from the AC. So we took to the right. And we sat down. And I said, boy, this is different. All the times we've gone to dinner, we've had to wait until the parties are there. So she sat us down. I even ordered a drink, right? No, I ordered an iced tea. And then I see Steve, and you come in, and I say, hey, Steve, and I give him a hug. How you doing? And everything changed. I don't know where it came from. I don't know why it came. I changed my iced tea. I never had the iced tea. And I had a drink. Mm-hmm. So is this what was happening to me?
Well, I think because the viewers didn't hear what we were talking about on the previous show, but it's all about picking up the energies. And
something was going on.
It's strange. I don't think that was even coincidence last night because it's a topic to go towards the show, and I truly believe they know what we're going to be talking about. But I don't know for sure that. I feel that. So we had obviously, and especially me, because I can pick up energies, I may have, well, I'm not saying that it was me doing this, but I can pick up energies. So you may have felt something with me and also with Steve because we had been on a ship with 3,000 people. So although we may not have been aware of it, you were. So you can do this, Freddie.
It was very calming. Everything was like unbelievable. The food was better. The drinks were unbelievable.
Oh, so it was a good. I thought you having an experience that wasn't.
Oh no, you kidding? I didn't want to leave.
Oh,
poor Steve. He had to get up to stretch out because he says my butt hurts, which usually happens after 2 hours. We spent about 3 hours.
Okay, I got that wrong. I thought, oh my God, I was transmitting something that wasn't good. Perfect.
I was gonna have another drink.
Oh, it made me feel better now. Yeah, but we can pick up good and bad energies. You know?
I don't know what was going on. All I can tell you is something hit me. And I was like in another, I don't know, I was like, everything seemed funny.
Was it like from a distance, certain things?
It was
did you
right
feel?
on me. It was talking to
Okay.
me. It was me feeling like sometimes the one to tell me, I got a migraine, which I found out what that's all about today. Or sometimes I want to say I
It's
feel
interesting.
people's energies. That's what I felt, and I kept looking at Steve and saying, "Was it him? What happened?
Well, we as a group, Freddie, have a tremendous energy between us.
Is it that? But not like yesterday. That was different."
No, I think then it was good. I was feeling, I didn't know, I didn't hear the whole story of what just now, what before
It was
the
an
show
amazing
started.
feel.
So it was a good thing. So we were bringing back something, or I really don't know because it's not happening right now, but I feel that it was definitely an energy that one of us was carrying and you were picking that up. Or, it doesn't necessarily mean it was us. It could have been someone in the actual restaurant.
It was you
us?
and
Okay.
Steve.
Did it leave
The
you when
moment
we
you
said
walked
goodbye?
in, everything looked different.
Well, I kind of had that
Everything
effect.
tastes different. This is why I don't tell you nothing. But when I walked in, I said, "Wow." And I said, "And you guys seemed like you were relaxed.
Yeah, we
there was
were.
no tension."
Yeah.
I said to Steve, I
That's what the
said,
vacation was about.
"Yeah, well, I can see you brought it with you. Maybe
Yeah.
that's what it was."
So it's really, if people understand what empathic is, it's very similar, but there's different segments of being empathic, I guess. So you can hear things, you can feel things, you just definitely pick up energy. I mean, if someone is in a room, and they, especially if their energy is, it kind of you can attract it. It's like you're standing here and you'll have that attraction of whatever that is, good, bad, or even scary, or peaceful.
But is
Peaceful.
it picking it up?
Yeah, because we're transmitters, we're frequencies.
Well, La Mesa on Friday,
yeah.
I went in there when we walked in there. First of all, we parked the cars backwards. All the cars are facing in the wrong direction. So the ticket guy came along. And Alicia was like, "Wait a minute, you can't," because I think he had started to give Alicia a ticket. And I said to the guy, "Well, take it easy. We'll just turn them around. We all pay for the spots. It's not like we're doing this on purpose. We thought it was a one-way street." So he says, "Okay, no problem." But La Mesa has the same frequency that it affected me. I just sat in my Santa suit.
You didn't move.
I didn't move. I couldn't move.
You did not move for hours.
I could not move. I was taking everything in.
So you're attracting a certain frequency, which is really taking, I'm not going to say taking you over, because it's real, you're still
Friday
in
it took me
control.
over.
Well, you're still in control, Freddie, but you're feeling it more. So it could either calm you down, or it could even, I'm not sure what the frequency is, but it's, you're picking this up, and it's following. I think it's following you, actually.
I don't know. I know that when you guys walked in, it was even more.
Was it the same, but the same
was
type
more.
of? So it was that
It
feeling.
was like Europhia or Europhia. What's the word?
Euphoria.
Euphoria, yeah. I couldn't even
It
think.
was like euphoria. Don't laugh at me.
So that's
Miss Emma
interesting.
Green.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's a good way to start the show. We can definitely open up with maybe
You ever get
viewers.
anything like
Anybody ever had that feeling to call in?
That's, yeah,
Well, how did you guys sleep last night?
Oh my God! I fell asleep and I slept very soundly. Very soundly.
How
We
about
were
you,
tired.
Steve? Good?
Yeah, I had a good night. I fell asleep on the sofa for about an hour and a half before I went to sleep.
Freddie, you and I were up all night.
It's
So
funny,
I
'cause
had
when
a
got
calming.
home, I fell asleep.
Well, the night before I was up. It might have been something to do with me because I was up the night before. That was on the cruise. I was on the cruise. So we're transmitters, just so that maybe they'll understand a little more. It's difficult kind of to explain it. And we transmit, we're energy beings. So we transmit energy. And if you're aware of, as an empath is, or audio, I can't even think,
Clear audio.
Claire, viewers that are that way will know what we're talking about. For the people that are not, become aware if you can. And a lot of my show is also to bring awareness to certain things, that we do pick up other people's feelings. We understand, that's why I often say don't always listen to the news, because it's very negative, the negative and positive.
You pick it up.
You pick it up. And that's why it's so important. Yes, you cannot be positive all the time. We're human beings and we don't have to be positive. But that negativity, even though it's on a television, you're still hearing the words. So we pick that up and it transmits from one person to the next to the next. So on the flip side of that, if you're positive and you're listening to something that you're really enjoying and feeling happy, that also transmits. So, you know, people hear songs and it can make them cry, it can make them sing, and it can also make them remember things from when they heard that song in the past. And if it wasn't necessarily a good experience, you're going to feel, you'll relate to that experience. So that in a way is the same thing. So, oh, when I last heard that song, and you'll go back to the time you heard it and how you felt. The same way if you're having, you know, a very happy time. Either way, it's still going to affect you either way. Either way.
Isn't it affect more because of the holidays right now?
Yes.
People are at a different level.
Yes, they are.
Of reception?
Absolutely, they're at a different level. And if you're feeling, you know, you're sad or you've lost loved ones, or not even necessarily this time of the year, but if they were with you the last time it was that holiday, whatever it was, you're going to feel that, because in a way you're feeling their energy too. You can remember the good, people say remember the good times. Well, that's really important. Remember the good times, because I feel that spirits also are feeling what we feel, because they are all around us. That's how I'm able to do this show. I don't know what questions you're asking me, they're helping me. I truly know that, because there's a lot of things afterwards I'll say, well, I didn't know that, so they're leading me into a conversation. It's also very important for me to be very positive on the show, because that's going to be transmitted to me.
So if you're around sad people,
Yeah.
can you pick up those frequencies?
100%.
Can you be a sponge to that?
Absolutely.
So how do you get rid of that, Sally?
By protecting yourself. Excuse me, this is very strange. My voice has not gone for nearly 2 weeks. Okay, guys, quit this. What you do is you use your imagination, and I really do it sometimes. I don't always remember before the show. Imagine that you're in a bubble, or even like a pyramid shaped thing, and Aldo used to tell me to do this all the time. Just know that you are being protected. I can go as far as I actually feel the energy of that. I can feel it right now. You put yourself into that bubble, but knowing that you may have a problem with something, that will help you. Because we all have it, we just don't know sometimes that this is happening. Protect yourself. Imagine that you have a shield around you. And it helps. It helps. Everybody's like looking at me now. My voice is going.
It helps. You have to make a conscious decision, from what everybody tells me, is to zip it up, protect yourself, bubble yourself, protect your energies. I just don't do it as often.
Yeah,
as
but
I
the
should.
funny thing is that nobody that I know, when they're going through this, has the ability to shake it off.
Because they may not necessarily, the first part of this is to be aware that this is happening to you, because you can suddenly get angry and you don't know why. Somebody even can be thinking about you. It goes as far as a thought. If someone's thinking about you, maybe not in a good way, if you're able to understand this, it's not you, it's the person that's transmitting that to you. It's easier to understand more when there's someone in front of you and you're having an argument and you're feeling it. But it doesn't stop there. It goes way beyond that, and you can pick up whatever it is if it's directed to you. Somebody else, you could be sitting there and say someone is feeling happy or angry with me. I'm going to feel it. Dawn won't, because it's being affected, because it's me that it's happening to. And this is real. I've experienced it. It's very, very real. Aldo used to tell me about this.
Well, you had an interesting point of view. You said navigation versus control?
When it controls you versus you navigating it.
I know, but navigation versus control, I think is a very outstanding subject when people are sending negative energy and you're absorbing them. So if you're taking in somebody's energies or frequencies, is it navigation or is it control that prevents you from stopping it?
I think it's something to learn. Well, at least for me, it's something to learn, because right now it controls me. I haven't learned how to navigate it. I haven't learned how to stop it from coming in, and once it comes in, then it controls me, because I don't know it's there until it's so late that I'm either spiraling or sad or getting sick.
That's right.
And then I have to clear it and clean it, and that's the harder part. If you can navigate it and control it before it comes in, then
But
you're
you can
absorbing
stop it, Dawn.
That's
I'm
it. I
learning
can
that
stop
too.
it.
That's
I've done
control
this. I
navigation.
felt I was getting energies towards me that I didn't like. and you've actually seen me do this, I go, stop it, because I feel it. And you can do that. You can actually stop, and you can send it back to the person. Aldo taught me that, and I saw that happen. They're sending me energies, go away, go back to the person that's sending it, and it will. I mean, it sounds very woo-woo, and strange, but it's true. It's absolutely true in my world.
I experience negative energy in my business. Almost every couple I sit down with has some sort of negativity
Sure.
Prior to what we do. And in order to escape that negativity, what do I have to do? Well, I have to control the situation. And if you don't control the situation, you don't make a sale. I think it's the same thing in controlling your angst, navigating through that, and being in control and coming on top of that, and being in control and evening out your mantra or chakra or whatever that is.
I think that might be why people sometimes wear a rosary or hold a rosary. I don't know why that's coming to me, because prayer helps, and if you can focus on the beads of the rosary, right? You can't have two opposing feelings at the same time.
Right.
You can't feel stressed and faith and prayer at the same time. So the higher frequency should prevail. So if you've got your mantra or your rosary or whatever it is you can hold and count your beads and blessings, then that negative energy should subside, because the higher frequency should prevail.
But you're beginning, and funnily you should talk about a rosary, because that occurred to me the other day, because they're putting their focus into doing that, and I believe they touch 1, 2, and then, because in order to clear all this, you have to focus on what's happening and think of nothing else. It's like meditation.
Right.
And even if you say a word, you can even say your name over and over and over again, you will get into that state. Everybody meditates a little differently. But as you know, I said to you, I've learned to suddenly stop that, because I'm seeing a lot of faces around me, even that lady's had for her. And just focus on a particular object, anything. But a rosary would help, yes. Prayer is good.
Well, anytime you are able to put your fingers on something, you're supposed to be able to visualize it, because you're holding on to it.
And as you're visualizing, also, you're clearing your mind, the chatter that goes on in your mind, because you're focusing on that. And in time, with practice, I believe this does happen with practice, then it clears even the object, and then you're able to see and feel and hear so much more, which is meditation in a way, once you're meditating.
Well, then I'm going to ask you, I'm going to lay one on you that I've never asked before. So at 3:39 in the morning, I get a voice that wakes me up.
At 3:39? Okay, well, that's the time when the veil is less. That's a good time. So you are hearing something.
Yes, and then I will rush to either a sofa. I go somewhere, and then there's an idea or a thought that occurs to me.
Do you actually get up, or you just wake
Yes.
up?
No, I
Okay,
get up.
that's a good thing, actually, Freddie, because
Well,
whatever
it
is
is until
happening.
you can't get back to sleep.
Well,
So-
then tell yourself you're going to get up, you're going to hear what they have to say. I had that for a long, long time, which I write in my book when I was getting all these messages after about 3 o'clock. You're getting ideas, you're getting certain things that you are maybe not aware of in a conscious state, but although that's happening to you, it's coming to you. And you remember in the morning, right? Whatever is
I
happening.
remember in the morning because I'm not back. There is no
Well-
remembering. I'm still awake.
Then I think
I
you go
believe
to.
in better sleeping through chemistry.
Then you know what, Steve?
That doesn't help me.
No, absolutely not. Because
But
that
that
will-
doesn't. Even if I wanted to do that, it wouldn't help.
No,
I've tried.
go to bed a little bit earlier, and then if you should wake up at
worse.
3.
And it gets up at 1:30 in the morning. And that's
Oh,
even
so
worse.
it's after a certain hours of
I go to
sleep?
sleep at 12. I'm up by 3:39. But it's
Look,
always 3:39.
No, it's 35. Okay, so even if you went, well, no, if you went to bed a couple of hours earlier and you get up at 3:30, well, that's in your mind. You know what's happened now?
Well, that's what I thought until today.
It's not your
today.
mind, but you've trained your mind to
But
be.
wait, let me finish it. Then I get up and I'm giving a message, and then I have to figure out how to put the message together.
This is a good thing. The fact that it's
So far, so
3:39, I believe that's in your mind that you've told yourself you're going to wake up at 3:39 or what, 59?
Well, I'm going to lay on you some of the things I was told. right?
Okay.
Music. I was told to create 7 songs. Why 7?
Well, listen, do you write down or you can remember everything?
I remember everything.
Okay.
Kidding? Who the
It's
hell
like
gets
the
up at this
7
time?
fishes.
I thought, and I didn't knew
7.
about that until today.
Well, then whatever you're told to do, it's a good thing. They're showing you what you're going to be doing. So
Okay, hold
do
on,
it.
Let me give you another one. So I was told to put together a design a sign.
Okay. And
Like,
you
I
did.
didn't know what that meant. So if I tell you, Steve, design a sign, and it will follow, what would you design?
I don't know what I would design.
Neither did I.
I would build it, and they will come.
And they will come. So what I went online, and I created something. I found a company. I sent in a mock-up, and you saw me post it.
Yes, it was
Got
beautiful.
over 5,000 hits on what people thought about this design. I said,
So-
what do you think? Is all I wrote on it. So what do you think of that?
Freddie, this is amazing. That's what I'm
Well,
going
it
to tell
gets
you,
even
because you
worse.
know what? Everything you're going to do is you're being told, and you're being told correctly what you should be doing.
Do you know who's telling you to do this?
I have no idea. That's what I'm coming to her. What do you think I'm
Well,
sitting here?
no, it's just spirit guides. They're guiding you, Freddie. Well, what other? Okay, if you think about this rationally, you're sitting here now, and it's not happening to you. They're coming to you at a certain time because you're expecting them at a certain time, correct? You're saying they're coming at nearly
I
every
don't
night.
expect nothing. I was trying
Well, you
to
are.
go to sleep.
Well, yeah.
Let me tell you, last night I didn't. I tried to stay in bed. Not good. I
Because
got
you're not
violently
necessarily going to remember.
ill at 3:39.
If you read my book, I have the times always after 3 o'clock. I would wake up, and I wrote down, which is something I never would do, with all that was happening to me after I went back to sleep. And then I would wake up, but I went back to sleep. You may go back to sleep. You may go back to sleep. I used to go back to sleep for about an hour. It was about that time that these things happened to me.
But these messages now, you and I shared a message one time.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
But what was the intent? Why did we share that message?
To make you aware. You see, what actually happens, to maybe simplify it a little bit, is that when we sleep, we go to another, we're going to call it a different dimension, because there is an astral plane. And if you think about this logically, like, oh my God, this is weird, it's not, because we all sleep, and we spend a lot of time sleeping. So there are alternative universes, there are parallel worlds, there are many things and many different dimensions. So we go to a place called the astral plane, and we have conversations just like we're doing here. Only we could be sleeping somewhere else and we're having this. So you can look at it that way. We're having a conversation. What's happening with you is that you're seeing part of that. You're remembering what has just happened before the 3 o'clock or 3, whatever time it is. And you're remembering, I'm getting it very strongly, you're remembering the conversation that you've had while you were sleeping on the astral plane, and you're bringing it into this reality here. And the messages that you are getting, oh my gosh, this is coming through. The messages that you're getting, Freddie, are messages that you've talked about to bring to you in our dimension here. And you already said that that's beginning to happen. I because I'm in a trance right now, I don't exactly remember what you said, but it is happening here. And it will continue happening here. This is your choice. You've chosen to do this.
Do you ever get these messages to do things during your waking hours?
No.
Normal?
Yes, but going back
No.
to that,
Which is the thing that really scares me. Remember when I told you I was up there in the corner?
Yeah.
That was at night sleeping. And I brought that to Sally.
but this is good. This is how I started
This is good.
every.
I'm glad it's good for you.
But it started me understanding so much more, because what I was being told and the places that I was seeing that I was going to, I was now bringing back to here, because I started to write down a lot of these things, because I remembered every single thing I was happening to me in my so-called sleeping time. We remember certain dreams. Some dreams we don't. Some dreams are very real and they stick with you. What you're happening is to you that you're getting messages from the conversations you're having around people when you're sleeping, and you're bringing them back here.
Well, let me give you this. I'll give you the Steve one because that was freaky in its nature. And I knew I was going to have dinner with him. Okay, I'll give you that one. But what happened to there with Dana and Max that happened in that room a few minutes ago, I didn't even know that Dana was coming to there. I had no clue because she's normally here on Wednesday. So I didn't think we were going to see her this week. And what happened in that room and what we talked about for 3 minutes rose the hairs on my arm. I never get that. Never. That never happens to me.
Yeah, it does.
It does not.
Why don't we take a commercial break? We come back, you can tell us all about it.
Right.
We don't need to. I need her to tell me about it.
Well, I don't know what happened. I wasn't in the room.
I'm going to tell you.
Okay. Okay, we'll take a commercial break and we'll hear more of the story. I'll get my voice completely back in a minute.
A true story, Call Me Zena, is the telling of Sally Barnard. Born in London, England at the end of the Second World War, she came into the U.S. in 1979. A mother of 2 and a grandmother of 4, she settled in Florida and worked in real estate. While going through a difficult time in her life, she was admitted into a hospital overnight in December of 2005. While settling back into her life, she began having vivid dreams and documenting them. By the 3rd dream, a lady gave her a message to draw. With no artistic background or interest into art or history, Sally listened to her dreams and grabbed a paper and crayons. Today, she has over 150 pieces of inspiring art and poetry. This book follows her journey and interpretations of these messages. She describes in detail how she is able to astral a project and who she has met along her travels, including her spirit guides. This book will show you how anything is possible with an open mind. These events have changed Sally's life and direction, and this book will show you how to change yours. Purchase Call Me Zena on Amazon today, authorhouse.com and amazon.com.
Thank you for joining me through this journey of self-discovery with the help of my spirit guides. I'm Sally Barnard, and you can find my book at authorhouse and amazon.com or visit my art on my clothing in my boutique at artbysallybarnard.com. Now back to the show.
Hi, we're still talking about energies sitting here in the studio and how you can suddenly laugh, as we had said, or feel really upset about something. There is a way to control it if you're aware of it.
Well, you saw that Dana started to cry when those kids started to sing.
Oh, I didn't see that because we were in the corner here.
The waterworks started to go. So she was at a different frequency, a higher frequency. It made her cry and everything. So when we went into Studio B, I told her some of the ideas that I dreamt about. This is what happened last night with her, and I shared these ideas. And she was like, oh my God. It was like she was waiting for me to say these things. And you can ask her. I'm not making this stuff up. I wish I was that
No,
good.
I believe.
And and I did not realize what I was saying.
Because that's a continuation of where we left off.
You were saying somebody else's words.
That's right. But it was his words
And you
in
know
another
who told
dimension.
me what I said? Was Max. Because I said to Max, what did I just tell her? She told me. I said, wow.
But that doesn't surprise me, Freddie, because really I'm sitting...
surprise me.
No, because I have a similar situation. I'm sitting here. I don't remember my show, a lot of it, until I see segments
Maybe you're
of
rubbing
it.
off on me.
That's exactly what's happening.
Wow.
Anybody that is in the energy that I'm in right now, it's quite capable, actually. Dawn especially can do exactly what I'm
But
doing.
don't we have conversations we normally remember what the hell we said?
No, not when you're in that higher dimension. Sometimes you don't
Every
always
day
hear.
when we wake up, have to remind her that we're married.
10 seconds
That was
on.
funny.
So do you think the 7 songs are like the 7 fishes that Christ fed the masses with, that maybe the music is for you to fill the souls of others with 7 songs?
The only thing you remember on that story is the number 7. Why is that?
I can
Come up
tell you,
twice already today.
Dawn is in a higher, definitely in a higher frequency right now. Can you tell?
I don't know.
I
She's
can.
somewhere.
It usually happens, then I'm about to cry. I feel like Dana, so
Yeah, yeah.
You're about
You're
to cry?
supposed to feed the masses with the energy, with the
I have
message.
no clue of what I'm supposed to do. I don't know. I don't even remember talking to Dana what I said to her, but whatever it is,
Well, she'll know.
she was jumping up and down, and I said, okay. And then I said to Max, what did I say? And she told me. And this is something that you and I have shared in here many, many times conceptually, concerts and things of that nature that we done. I just took that idea And I explained to her what it looked like, I guess, with the dark outs and lights on and the first 3 rows of participation in the audience and all. And she's like, wow, I can't believe it. I let her tell
Because from what I'm hearing is that you've raised your frequency. Once you do that, and it can happen to anybody when they do this, they're going to say things that they may not even understand when you're told in a
Agreed.
lower frequency.
Agreed. I give you that.
So what happens, and it happens, you seeing it every week with me. I sometimes don't know. When I'll listen to myself, then I'll remember, but I'll say, how did I know that? Because I've raised my frequency. That's how I'm able to tell you this right now. We're all on a higher frequency right now. So really what we're saying is from another point of view, from a higher perspective. And that's exactly what it is. So you're going to come out with people, ideas, places, things that, how do you think many people, and this is absolutely being proven, like someone invents something, they're on a higher frequency, not all the time, but this has happened many times, where one person, say here in America, will invent something, and then you'll suddenly hear that maybe 2 or 3 days later, someone in New Zealand has had the same idea for that invention. It's happened many times.
So what's the explanation for that?
They've raised their frequency. That's all you're doing.
At
You're
the same
raising
time?
Yes, they happen to do it at the same
And
time.
we're on the same frequency?
Well, they probably were. It's not everybody in the room.
Do I know these people?
Do you know them? What, the people that, when you've raised your frequency? Yes. But you may not have a recollection of them because you're on a higher frequency. Everything that's happening now, we can have happen on a higher frequency if we raise it. And you're gonna see more, you're gonna feel more, you're gonna hear more. You hear names, you hear ideas.
I give you that
because
too.
You see spirits. I see and hear people. I don't usually see people. I hear and I can get an outline, but I'm beginning to, because I know that I can if I'm on that higher frequency, seeing very clearly faces of those people that are talking to me. That's only happened recently because you're able, if you believe truly that you can do this and you can see this, you're raising your frequency, and everything on that frequency you're going to be able to hear and see. This is what psychics do. This is even an empath. Anybody that's training their self to be able to do that, to understand it, is going to hear more, is going to see more.
Yeah, I gotta give you that. I have been noticing things out of the corner of my eyes more. And I blame Steve last night. He's the one that brought on whatever the hell was going on. I have no idea. But I have been seeing, when I was in the apartment last night, I thought there was somebody in the apartment.
There you go. You're very much in that, let's call it a zone, as we would say.
I'm in the zone?
You're very
Who
much
put me in the zone? I don't want to be in that zone.
People would relate more to that. They're in a zone. You hear people say that, you're in the zone. Well, the zone, if you want to, it's not a word I use, but they're trying to tell me to tell you that. You might relate more to that. But you've raised your frequency. I don't know if you use that word, but they're telling me to tell you the zone.
Different rooms, different, when you turn the lights out and you change the vibration. It changes the frequency versus sitting home on your couch with the news on. You
100%.
may not hear or see or feel as connected as much as you're going to sitting in this room with the 4 of us.
Well, how many times have I said, well, you walk in here, I could have a million problems outside that door, but the moment I walk inside that door and I'm in this studio, and I've said that to you, and many people tell you that, you've raised the because it's something that, let's say they know what's going on, so they know with all these pictures, with everything around. I don't care how bad your day is, you walk in here, if you can feel it, you're going to feel something, and you've had people say that to you. Look at the people that you've attracted in this studio.
Well, today was all-time something else. And then those kids singing here raised it to the roof.
Is raising a frequency. That's all it is.
And was it my hearing, or did Shelley Sweetwater's sound incredible today? Was it my hearing?
Different music. Some of the songs I had never heard were spectacular. Yeah.
You're getting different.
I was like, I almost ran up to her. I couldn't take it. I had to lock myself away because I'm saying, what is this? What am I listening? But this all started last night because of him.
Well, you can. It not necessarily. You're aware of it, Freddie. It might have been someone on the other side of the room, but it did happen when we walked in. So I'll give you that too.
It did happen.
Yes, yeah. But we don't always have to know where it's coming from. And again, it can be good or bad. The thing is to be aware of it, to control it, which is really important. Once you feel it, especially if it's not a good feeling. The good news about that is that you can turn a good feeling, a bad feeling, into a good feeling.
Well, that leads us to some of the questions. I want to get to these
Okay.
because now these people did not give their last name. All they gave was the first name. And they're asking advice on some of the things that is happening to them in their life. Now, I want to remind people, some people feel this, some people don't. It's like Dawn's headache all of a sudden has a reason. I can't believe I'm even saying that. They actually classified it by name, which is kind of crazy. But you're not crazy. I guess I'm the crazy one for not believing you.
It's amazing to walk through life and feel the way you feel or think you are who you are. And then someone puts a label on it, or someone fills in that missing puzzle piece of understanding, like meeting you
Yeah,
and the paintings and all the things that I knew I felt, and then here you are.
it suddenly comes to life, basically.
It's
yeah.
like all these pieces as a jumble puzzle make a picture, and it makes sense.
It makes
And it was
sense.
like Dana identifying what I always feel. There's actually a name for it.
It feels like, people begin to wake up. They call that. You hear people say we've woken up or we're waking up. And during that process, you attract the people that are going to help you begin to wake up, just as I did with Aldo. I didn't know what was going to happen, but you attract, and they happen to come in here. They definitely do come in here.
It's the same thing if you're not feeling well and you don't know what it is, but you go to the doctor and they finally put a name on it. And, oh, I got that. Okay.
Or they say you're fine, and you say, okay, it must be an energy. See, for me, it must be something I walked into or something that doesn't belong to me.
And on the flip side to that, doctors can unfortunately say to people, you have maybe 3 or 4 months to live.
And they're wrong.
I do not, I mean, if there's anybody listening that's a doctor, I'm sorry, but I don't really agree with that because, and they've seen that too. They can come in and they can tell them that, and suddenly they'll have an x-ray of something and it's all gone. That's happened many times,
We got 18
right?
minutes, Sally. We got to get some
Okay, we've got to get
questions
some,
from
yeah,
All right, so
thank you.
these people want to have an explanation. I just wanted to explain it. Okay, so Ava writes in, why do I sometimes feel overwhelmed by others' emotions to the point of crying?
Because she's picking up, you're picking up energy from something that you may not be necessarily aware of, but your spirit, your whole being is feeling it, which we were talking about. So that's being transmitted to the person. And that's what's happening at that point with her too.
And it's funny because the physicality of it is the tear.
Yes, that's very good, Freddie. Yeah.
Because sometimes God will tell you you're not paying attention until something physically happens to you.
That's exactly right. And even a laugh, someone laughs at something for no reason. Maybe somebody else didn't realize and they needed to hear that and they listened to the laugh and it was funny. So there we go. We have physical, yeah,
Makes sense to you?
Sure.
yeah.
It's pretty good. Gotta tell you.
But laughter is the best medicine. Unless you're laughing for no reason, then you need to see a doctor.
Well, this leads to the second question. Ethan writes, can spirits communicate with us through energy? Do we have to be aware?
Well, it's better when you're aware of it that this can happen because the energy could be, as we said, good or bad. They may want to give you a message. Just give me the last part of that. It's left me.
Communicate with us through energy. Do we have to be aware?
Well, you'll become aware of it, let's say, because if you're feeling something and and this can happen to you, you're going to become aware of it. A lot of the time, we're not aware of it. No, in order for it to have a meaning to you, you have to be aware of it.
But let's go back to control and navigate.
Well, what you said is great, Dawn. I like what you said.
Control and
can
navigate.
be a couple things. One is, can you control it or is it controlling you? Right, so control can go both ways. And navigate, can you navigate the situation? For me, I only know how I feel. It will control me before I can identify it to navigate through it.
Well,
But then ask Dawn, is her control teaching you to navigate?
Yes. And there may be a reason that that's happening to
Because
you.
now I
but
need to understand.
You need to understand
like today
it.
was
Exactly.
a light switch that I need to, not only as people say, oh, protect yourself, bubble, whatever you want to call it. I need to find a way to navigate through what I might walk
That's
through, or
right.
control it so it doesn't affect me negatively.
And the next time it happens, it's not going to be as bad because you've already had part of a situation and you've been aware of that situation. If you're not aware of it, you won't understand it. So to navigate it, you've got to be aware of what's happening to you, and then you can control it.
Right.
That's right.
Very interesting.
More
So
awareness.
all of a sudden, there's a lot more of the puzzle that's being
Right,
answered.
right.
Isn't that funny? At this ripe old age of mine and being who I am for my whole life, but suddenly now that I can identify it, it's at least.
But that's what
the
it's
next
all
step of
about.
knowing, right?
It means you're growing.
It's a learning journey. Look at my age in my life, what I'm learning. And I used to think, well, I was going to learn another language. And I said, well, I'm a certain age, I'm not going to bother. But I don't believe that anymore. It's all a learning experience till you depart from here, and then you come back and you can have, it's like you'll remember some of what you've learned.
And then you marry somebody who's learning more about who he is.
Well, because we're all, I believe anybody that's in our lives is there for a reason, and well, for whatever the reason, because we're all teaching one another.
But he's learning, which I am.
Yes, he's learning.
It's another piece of that puzzle.
Yeah, because that was his choice. We don't do necessarily what we haven't planned, good
You know
or
what's
bad.
also interesting? You told me yesterday about clearing energy off of jewelry.
Yes, I did.
Because Aaron gave me a ring yesterday that he had for years. That was my grandfather's ring that had been sitting in a box, and I was wearing it last night at dinner. Maybe I need to clean the rings before I put them on. Even though it was somebody I love and hold dear in my heart, maybe those energies don't belong to me.
Because it has an
Memory of the ring
imprint.
can, but
Exactly.
the energies
Yes.
in the ring
That's a
are
perfect
not mine to
example.
take in.
And how do you clean?
Well,
Jewelry.
the
That's
best
my
way.
next question.
No, yes, you can put it. Salt, sea salt is the best.
They say in the moonlight, I think.
Oh, in the moonlight
Or
with sea,
sea
or you can put it in the earth. If you put it in the earth, especially a ring, just get a little bit of earth, or make sure you remember where you put it. Put it in the
I
earth.
was going to say that.
Yeah, and then leave it for 24 hours. Or if you've got, even from the ocean, you use actual salt water is
Salt
good.
water, right.
Or you can buy sea salt and do that. But any of these things will clean it. But you have to leave it.
It's different than saging a room. It's different than saging a room.
Well, no, because you can't you can't end up putting a whole ocean in the room. So sage is the next best. Yes.
I once had a toe ring on, and so a good friend of mine said, look down and you'll have the answer. I'm like, what? Because I was having these energy. Look down and you'll know the answer of what you need to clear. And it was this toe ring, and they told me to put it on a chain
There you
and
go.
hang it like near my fireplace and let it, whatever it needed to do, and do its thing. So I
Well,
guess different things
a
hold
lot of
energies.
things, they hold, even a chair we're sitting on holds energy. It's an imprint. This is what I was told too. Aldo used to tell me this. And you can just, protect yourself. That's the best thing, because whatever it is there, I mean, we don't go around all the time saying I've got to put this shield around me, but say I'd like to keep it with me where I'm going, just somehow. And I'll go as far as Aldo, and I'm sure I always say that people know who I'm talking about today, which was my guide. He was my guide. He wouldn't even go into a restaurant unless he walked around the whole restaurant, and I thought he was crazy, and I'm beginning to understand this. Go in and tell me the energy was clear. I didn't often go with him into restaurants, but I did see him do that a couple of times.
Well, if you're in control, you can navigate that energy
That's
out
right.
the door.
And he would do a clearing, but not even a restaurant, but even when I worked in the same place that he did, and he would clear. He can only maybe clear his space, but he cleared it. So it's worth trying, even if you don't believe it. What harm? Just clear it. and
If
see
you
what
didn't
happens.
believe it, then it wouldn't have been a problem.
Yeah, but they say fake it till you make it. So fake it if you don't believe it. I'm going to clear this, and then eventually it'll be clear.
And then we're back to tears again. Not understanding.
Well, that's
why.
an emotion. That's an emotion which a
You'd be
frequency
surprised.
can.
Sometimes it's emotional, and sometimes it just comes on.
Well, that's coming
you
from
can't
some
explain.
sort of emotion that you don't understand what it is. It is an
That's
emotion.
right. You don't
Because
understand
otherwise,
what it is.
yes, exactly, and that can happen to all of us.
So
But-
what is it when I can watch a part of a movie 17 times?
I was gonna bring
I know
that
what's
up.
coming, but all 17 times I cry.
Well, you heard a little bit of what happens to you because you're feeling that, Steve, or it can bring back a memory. I was going to bring that up to you, actually, because I see that happen. I control, because I'm in control when I know what's happening on the screen. So I control that as best I can, because I would be crying my eyes out, in other words, I know that. But you didn't realize that. It's coming from, it could be a trigger from something that had happened to you in your life. It could be such a pleasant sensation that you hear music that it's bringing you to tears. It's real. It's real.
Now people are thinking, how is all these people going to function through life in the holidays? But
Well, that's a good example too,
It's a real
Dawn. Yeah,
thing.
it is.
Well, if you can navigate, navigation will lead you to control. So if you can navigate these emotions, you'll actually end up being able to control your
Perfect.
emotions.
Because that's the awareness of why it may be happening to you. Because if you're suddenly listening to a song and you're crying, think back when you first heard that song. The tears of joy, or is it tears of sadness? It will give you a reason why you're crying, actually.
And do you know that the gift of creativity, you can do something, make a song, do a coloring book, make a cupcake, make a cookie for someone, and it serves as a gift when you least expect it for it to serve as anything.
I have to ask you, can you see a change in Freddie? He's cooking.
This is your fault.
He's talking more openly about
A
these
lot of
things.
stuff today.
A good blink.
I think we better go to the next question.
Noah writes, do people's energies influence our relationships?
Do people's energies
Influence our relationships. Other people's energies influence your personal relationship. That's a good question.
Yes, it can, because an energy from other people can affect you. So if somebody is, let's say, as an example, that you're in a relationship and something is not right, for instance, it may not be that bad, let's say, but if other people, and Aldo used to say this to me, stop spreading everything around, because the more you spread it, sometimes it can make it go away because you're diluting it, but it also can have a different effect by not diluting it, and it gets stronger and stronger. So whatever, you're suddenly feeling something that you shouldn't even be feeling. A relationship is a good point of reference actually to how this happens. Or you're talking to somebody and you feel something isn't right, and then somebody else can come up to you and say, don't talk to that person. For no reason, they're saying that to you. Now that feeling is getting stronger and stronger. What you're doing is you're magnifying, that's the word they're telling me to use, you're magnifying that feeling. So it can work for good, but it can also work for bad.
But remember, Sally, a relationship is two people. Energies may be here, energies may be here. So I think that the question is saying, will the energies going this way back and forth be influenced by the energies there that he's being influenced, and energies there separate from one another?
It doesn't matter, because now it's being transmitted through the person with that energy to the person that's receiving that energy.
Right.
So now their energy is on the same level because they've magnified whatever it can get. But it can work for the positive too, because it can magnify whatever it is.
It could be very positive.
Absolutely.
It doesn't have to be negative.
But it can be if it's a negative situation, the more you express that to the other person is going, this is very interesting actually.
It's like if person A has a very positive outlook on something, but person B gives them a negative outlook on it, the person with the original positive outlook will then not trust his positive feeling.
Well, that depends on the person too, because if the person is an extremely positive person and understands some of this, and the other person doesn't, the one that's going to understand it is going to understand what's happening, whereas the other person doesn't. But you need a balance. That's what it's all about. So positive and negative, there is a balance there.
And the funny thing is that it depends. He never said it was a negative or positive influence. He just says, does it influence you?
Yes, the answer is, without an explanation, the answer is yes. Right?
That's a spectacular question. If you think
It is. It's a
it's
very
multi-dimensional answer.
Yep.
I love this question.
I love that. I am so kicked off right now on what happened.
But you see the difference when he's in a lower vibration or a high.
That's his fault.
And you're in a totally higher vibrational energy, and you have been there since last night.
Okay, this is Max. Do spirits have their own unique energy signatures? Before you answer that, what does signature mean?
Well, they're MO, basically. That's what's coming to me.
Okay, I'll
Okay, they
take
have
that.
yes, they do. They can have a personality. I have a spirit that comes to me and always says the same thing. Does that make sense to you? That's his MO. I don't use it that much here, but when I give messages, I'll say, does that make sense? I know that that spirit is there. Each one, just as we are here, although we're all together as one, we have our individual MOs or whatever
Signature?
it is. Signature, yes.
So if I get a message or I feel I got to tell Dawn something, let's say it's coming from her dad, she will know whether or not it's true because of its MO?
Yes, the signature MO, yes, because we don't basically lose what we have. And that came to me very strongly with the fact that one spirit says to me, does that make sense? I don't always say that, but when I do, I'm very aware that that's that. I don't know who the spirit is. I don't have to know, but I know it's the same person, spirit.
It's a good one.
These are good questions. I like them.
No comment?
Well, I'm thinking, well, yes, spirits definitely do. You have to identify it. But if someone that you're with doesn't understand energies, they're going to blame it on something physical. It was too cold outside. The fan was blowing too much at night. The light bulb must be loose.
But is that the
But
excuse?
that's okay. Yes, because if you know better, that's all right. Just let him
Because
be.
there were people who tried to
Just let it
explain.
be. It doesn't matter because there is somebody else that you may have that same situation with who will understand that. Because you can't teach everybody. The fact that you're in a room with people, when you begin to understand this, you want to teach people because that's part of who we are, to share it. But I learned the hard way, actually. You cannot teach. Some people just are not ready.
Right, like you said last night, you were up all night with your stomach. First thing I said to you was, what did you eat? We didn't get into the energies of anything. There's an older woman with you with gray hair and her hair in a bun. Maybe that's who was standing behind you. Yeah, exactly.
Because what
Was that a comment or was that a statement?
She's right there. She's
So you
like,
can see her?
I see her, I feel her, I sense her, yeah.
Well, it can't be my mother because she never let her hair go gray.
Someone's got gray hair back in a bun.
Could be your mother's mother.
I didn't know.
Well, you definitely picked something up, my friend, because now she's seeing it.
But
You
she's
picked
happy.
up something.
It's
Yes.
not. It's not a
She's
sad. It's not a
ecstatic.
sad spirit.
She's ecstatic.
It's a happy older woman spirit. I know people are watching and be like, "Why did Dawn just say that?" But
No. That's how we get it. And I'm getting the name for some reason.
You might get her
Spanish
name.
It may not be for you. Juliana. You getting? Does anyone
maybe
know a
she's not
Juliana?
for you. Maybe she's for somebody else. But she's with you.
Did you know a
I don't know.
Juliana? Does anyone know a Juliana?
My granddaughter.
Okay, I'm getting a message
maybe
for
it's for you.
Juliana. Yeah.
Maybe it
Then the
one of
message.
the-
Him. He
Oh
did
no,
this.
no,
It was him.
you're seeing it. But I'm getting the name. I didn't know that was your granddaughter's name.
Julie.
I'm getting
Apparently
yeah.
I've done a lot of stuff.
Okay.
You don't even know
Are
what
you
you've done.
exhausted yet?
Maybe it's your grandmother.
Let's go to the next question.
My grandmother was
We-
not called Julie.
No, maybe it's a message for Juliana from your grandmother.
See, it could be a lot of things. It could be that Steve delivered a message,
Yes.
and I saw it. Maybe I'm supposed to give Steve
But
the
that
message.
name might not be anything to do with what we're talking about at all. I'm just getting the name Juliana.
All right, we got time for one more.
Yeah.
Sophia writes, why do I feel a strong connection to certain places or objects? And that's good because that has multiple answers.
Yeah.
It does. There's certain places could be which I've talked about before from a previous lifetime, and you go back and you feel it. An object is something that holds energy. So if you feel something and you see an object and you're feeling it, you're getting objects. Everything has energy. Touches, you're transmitting that energy. So a certain object, if you touch it and it makes you feel good every time you touch it because it has a good energy, keep touching it.
Yeah,
You're
it's
going
like
to feel.
every time I think about the original old Yankee Stadium, I get these wonderful feelings because that's where I spent most of my youth.
That's right.
I got
So-
a guy I want you to meet. He came in here. He bought the Yankee letters,
They're
all
his backyard.
25 of them. They're in his backyard in New York City.
Oh, wow.
So we got to go sit there. You know, real quick before we end the show, Sally, I was told by somebody that the more we do this, the more things are going to rise.
100%.
And if you saw, if yesterday was any indication, if today was any indication, I think the next year is going to be an interesting year.
100%, because the more you, it's like, for me, I've learned a lot in the 3 years I've been doing this show. I'm much more aware of many things that I'm being told because I'm expressing it out loud. I didn't know I knew that. I think, was that the end of our show? So I'm just, time to end, okay? It's time to end.
Take it by your friends.
All right. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful holiday season. Enjoy, make the best of everything that you can, and may there be peace on earth. And that's going to make me cry for some reason. Suddenly, yeah. Okay. Peace.
You have been
love.
watching Call Me Zena with your host, Sally Barnard. As an artist, author, and spiritual experiencer, know that you can always seek me out for resources by visiting artbysallybarnard.com. Join us next week, Monday.